good morning, Carly. President-elect Trump capped off the weekend with a new pick. He named Brendan Carr to be the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission. Trump says in a statement, Commissioner Carr is a warrior for free speech and has fought against the regulatory lawfare that has stifled Americans' freedoms and held back our economy. He will end the regulatory onslaught that has been crippling America's job creators and innovators and ensure that the FCC delivers for rural America. Carr currently serves as the top Republican at the FCC. Trump notes he first nominated Carr to the FCC in 2017. He's since been confirmed by the Senate 3 times. Carr thanked Trump on X last night, saying we must dismantle the censorship cartel and restore free speech rights for everyday Americans. Trump has yet to announce his choice for another high-profile role, Treasury Secretary. He had been expected to pick the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, Howard Lutnick, or investor Scott Bessent. Now, the New York Times is reporting Trump is also considering former Federal Reserve Governor Kevin Warsh and Wall Street billionaire Mark Rowan. Trump is reportedly set to interview the contenders for Treasury Secretary this week at Mar-a-Lago. Trump has been moving at a rapid speed to fill out his administration. Some of his nominees, though, like Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., are expected to face some tough confirmation hearings.
Is this the very best that America has to offer for a moment like this with so many challenges that we confront? Of course not. America deserves better.
The Republican senator who votes to confirm Matt Gaetz or Robert Kennedy or Tulsi Gabbard will be remembered by history as somebody who completely gave up their responsibility to Donald Trump.
New this morning, Trump confirms on Truth Social his administration is preparing to declare a national emergency on immigration and will use military assets to carry through a mass deportation program.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
No!
Can we make our own cinematic universe of Trump memes? Or is it like exactly what we're doing here? We should send some of these in to the Academy. Is there a meme Oscar that we can get? Can we apply for the meming Oscars? We should make that. We should absolutely make that the Academy Awards of memes. Jerry, let's do it. Let's do the Academy Awards of meme. We'll do a red carpet and everything with all of our favorite memers. It'll be great. Jerry and Ashley from the team, they can hand out, everyone can give cry. They can cry and they can hold their awards. The award will be like a little Leonardo DiCaprio, right? With a little, it'll be perfect. It'll be perfect. It's what we've always wanted. The Academy Awards of memes. The cinematic. It's beautiful. The entire Star Wars Odyssey with Donald Trump included. It is a wonderful week and a wonderful way to start your week with a little bit of spice and salt and a meme to keep a pep in your step. We certainly have a pep in our step, ladies and gentlemen. Returned from Mar-a-Lago this weekend with so many stories to tell you. Today is Monday, November 18th, 2024. Donald Trump made a triumphant return to Madison Square Garden. Remember when Trump was going to get canceled because of his Madison Square Garden rally? Remember when that was going to doom the election for Donald Trump? Amazing. Trump walking in like a conquering Roman general or emperor, as they would say on CNN. They did say it on CNN. With Kid Rock, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi, Vivek, and many, many more. Our friend Dana White. Among them, ladies and gentlemen, Morning Joe and Mika Brzezinski. are now kneeling to the emperor and groveling and begging for forgiveness. Oh, it is a delicious barrel of salt we are going to sip this morning. Brooke Rollins joins the program, who from America First Policy Institute, who's been with Donald Trump all weekend at Mar-a-Lago, and she has many, many exciting stories. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. So we traveled to Mar-a-Lago, and while we were there, we had a tour of the property by one of the members of the staff there at Mar-a-Lago, and we were able to meet with some of our dear friends, and we're able to see some of the incredible history of the building itself. And it reminded us, ladies and gentlemen, there's so much about American history that we stories that we wish to tell. And we met with Doug Burgum, for instance. I don't know if we have that photo. And Doug Burgum's going to be Secretary of the Interior. He's in charge of every national monument in the country. I know you might, I know it might seem like a position that maybe is sort of in the background, but dude, being in charge of all the memorials, Mount Rushmore, being in charge of the Washington Monument to the Lincoln Memorial, or perhaps maybe a Donald Trump fight memorial. Whew. Yeah, we talked about him. We talked about that with him. Yes. We'll tell you about it in just a second. Yeah, we wanted to, it helped us. We told him we want to launch a series where we go and we film some of America's greatest treasures and go behind the scenes with them. There's a giant cave underneath the Lincoln Memorial, or what's at the very tip top of the Washington Monument. It's very cool, man. So anyway, Secretary of the Interior is in charge of all that. The point is that there's so much of American history, literature, and our founding that is not taught in schools, that people don't learn about. And it's important, actually, because it shows you who you are, where you come from. People that forget where they come from, well, will forget themselves, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we're proud to partner with Hillsdale College. Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses in American history and other great works from the masters like C.S. Lewis, the authors of the U.S. Constitution, The Rise and Fall of the Roman Republic, something that you should study, especially in this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the history of the ancient Christian church. All of our histories available now for free at Hillsdale College, for free. I recommend Economics 101, the principles of the free market. That has really helped me get a foundational understanding of where our government's gone horribly wrong. Right now, go to hillsdalecollege.edu/Benny to enroll. No cost. It's easy to get started. Hillsdale.edu/Benny to register. Hillsdale.edu/Benny. Maybe we'll partner with Hillsdale to do the tour of all of America's great monuments. It'll be so much fun. It's going to be such a fun couple of years, man. We were at Mar-a-Lago, and we ran into some of our dear old friends. Here's a photo of ALX. ALX and I were there for dinner. And here's Margot Martin. She's the person who you've seen multiple times, her work on this program, with the behind-the-scenes videos of Trump. So awesome. So she's so good. She's just every sick video of Donald Trump walking out at these events, or being greeted like a conquering hero in the Bronx. There's so many moments that Margot kind of captures. I encourage you to follow her. She's great. And I'm sure she'll be joining Trump in the White House. So we look forward to her work, along with the work of DJ Trump, which we were able to witness ourselves as we sat down to dinner, and Donald Trump immediately started DJing from his iPad. Now, I want to explain that when you're having dinner, it's a big no-no to take out your phones. You're not supposed to take out your phones or record. This is supposed to be Trump's private time at dinner, but you are welcome to walk up and chat with him and his administration. We did a lot of that. In fact, we did the meme with J.D. Vance. I'm not sure if we have that or not. We did get a chance to connect with J.D. We got a chance to connect with Tulsi. Got a chance to connect with Elon, RFK. It was awesome. Freaking amazing. And so anyway, it was a remarkable evening, and of course we would it would have just been we couldn't go. You can't go live when you're in the private dining area as best as we could. We were going to set that up for something in the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's us doing the meme with J.D. Vance, and it was all fun. It was great. We got really fantastic opportunity to connect with people. I mean, the entire administration's been on this program, right? The entire administration, everyone from Stephen Miller to Congressman Mike Waltz, has been on this program. Kash Patel, we want for FBI director. And Brendan Carr, our dear friend Brendan Carr, was made FCC commissioner, well, before our very eyes, actually. Here's Brendan Carr. Okay, well, show me that meme one more time. The funny part. So he did the meme. JD's like, I can't remember how I did my face. How did I do it? How did I do my face? Wait, that's like, just show the people the meme. Nobody needs another smiling photo of me. Let's do the meme. This is the favorite meme of the election. Here's Brendan Carr, the new FCC commissioner, announced last night. And you can see there, can we zoom on this, Killer Klein? You can see there Trump photobombing us right behind it. It's freaking awesome. So something that was so neat to be a part of, and it was a blessing, and so we're deeply thankful. I mean, I got to be honest, deeply hurt that we weren't invited to UFC Trump 4-1. The photos of Don Jr. and Elon Musk and RFK Jr. eating McDonald's, just golden. We'll get to all that in just a second. But there's something I wanted to talk to you about that we saw with President Trump, because what President Trump was doing this weekend, much of it was public, but what we got to see was the private side of the president. And we got to chat with him, and we got to see what great mood he's in. He's in like incredible mood, and he's chipper and in extremely high spirits. DJ Donald Trump was spinning tunes. Okay, so let's put up the DJ again. Trump was spinning tunes on his iPad, as he's known to do. This is not. There are plenty of videos of this. This is not a secret at all. Trump immediately gets out his iPad and starts spinning his favorite music. The first song is something I want to talk to you about, because the first song is the reason why we were inundated this weekend with phone calls from January 6 political prisoners, their families, and their lawyers. This is a post that we put up that went thermonuclear this week. It's got millions and millions of views. It was 7 million views, right? There are nearly 40,000 reposts, 133,000 likes. Here's what you're going to see in this video. And it's really the most chilling moment of the night. Donald Trump, he gets welcomed in, and everyone is dining there. The entire administration, J.D. Vance, Tucker Carlson, everyone's sitting there in this very small, rather tight, what would you say, Alex? Maybe like 100 people total can fit in this dining space? Maybe 100 total, maximum, right? The entire administration's there. Everyone's coming up. It's great. We're all chatting. Trump walks in, and the first song that he plays makes the entire bustling room stop talking. Stand at attention. And everybody got chills down their spine. It was a chilling moment from dinner with Donald Trump. Last night I had dinner next to Trump at Mar-a-Lago. After being welcomed to the dining area with thunderous applause, Trump got out his iPad and DJ'd. He's known to do this. What he did gave the room chills. Trump played Justice for All. It's a patriotic song that he recorded with the January 6 Political Prisoners Choir. It's a group of 20 imprisoned men. For the riot at the United States Capitol, the profits from the song are dedicated to their legal expense, and Donald Trump is sampled saying the Pledge of Allegiance with these J6 prisoners. It's absolutely haunting. Here's what it sounds like.
And to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So this is what it looked like inside of the club, on the outside of the club, where we were. It was just cheers, but chills throughout the entire thing, and everybody standing at attention, listening to these January 6th prisoners sing the national anthem. I mean, I've never felt anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. You're talking about the most powerful people in the world, all there. You know, Elon was present that evening. Obviously, the vice president was there. The president was there. President-elect, vice president-elect. The entire cabinet, the entire administration, the whole place was abuzz, and everybody just stopped to listen to January 6th political prisoners sing. Trump's done this before, but this is the first time I've seen him do it since becoming president-elect. And what does it say about President Trump? What it says is that he hasn't forgotten the January 6th political prisoners. President Trump's obviously, without question, as we've regularly said, Trump is culture. Trump is the most powerful man on earth. He was even without being president-elect, but he certainly is as president-elect. Nobody even cares about Joe Biden. ALX, if you don't have it in the script, we got to show Joe Biden getting completely mogged this weekend. Joe Biden's been relegated to like the back row of photographs with world leaders. He's being humiliated. Like the president of Guyana is now like put in front of Joe Biden, hoping that nobody can see Joe Biden. Joe Biden's giving speeches in the Amazon rainforest and then disappearing off, with the spider monkeys. The degradation of Joe Biden. Like Joe Biden is utterly and totally cast aside. Nobody cares. The point I'm trying to make is that Donald Trump is without question the single most powerful man walking the earth today. And in a room flanked by other most powerful men on earth, like Elon Musk, J.D. Vance, Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump made every one of them stand at attention and give reverence, respect, deference to political prisoners who were locked up by the Biden regime in one of the great, most unjust purges of American history. Trump doesn't have to do that. Trump could just, play the golden oldies as he's known to do. Phantom of the Opera, right? Donald Trump has a playlist, YMCA. James Brown is a favorite of the Trump playlist. ALX was literally calling him out at dinner. ALX was like, he's going to play this next. Boom, Phantom of the Opera, right? But to begin the night, Trump makes the most powerful people on earth stand at attention and listen to the sounds of the political prisoners locked up by the Biden regime. And it echoed, by the way, it boomed through the club. What you're seeing there is not the dining area. What you're seeing there is inside of Mar-a-Lago. So you can hear it booming through the entire club. So it's like hundreds of people listening to this. And what does that say? It says that Donald Trump hasn't forgotten these people. That Donald Trump will, I think, make a move to pardon these people or work on pardons. My phone was on fire this weekend after posting this clip and having it go viral. You can see some of the comments of the tweet. Julie Kelly, Mike Davis, John Rich. John, do you know that country music legend John Rich produced this? It's incredible. Julie Kelly saying that she helped record some of these voices. Standing there in the kitchen, recording the men singing the anthem. And then put for all to hear, this is really moving. Julie Kelly called me in tears this weekend, asking about it. So the responses are spectacular. But more importantly, what this says is that Donald Trump hasn't forgotten these people. And I think while there was so much epic energy this weekend, and we're going to jump right into it right now, I wanted to give you that background piece of information. We told you we were going to Mar-a-Lago, and we're gonna get some interesting access in the next couple of years. And because so many people that's been in the administration have been like true friends of us, been on this program, been a part of this audience, locked in with you, and we won't miss those moments. What Donald Trump playing that song says speaks volumes. And I think it's the most important thing, arguably, that I could have seen that happened this weekend. Of course, I'm not I'm not invited into these rooms where Trump is selecting his cabinet, right? I I don't want to be in the federal government. I don't want to be part of the federal government. I enjoy our perch and position here, but that is the most powerful thing we were able to witness Donald Trump do this weekend, in a weekend of absolute and total cultural power and dominance by the president. Trump's fight night moving on, ladies and gentlemen, and please pray for our January 6th political prisoners. Speaking of people who are fighters and fighting, the people who have been fighting for years against what is total and complete disgraceful political persecution. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump, the champion in the arena. The man who is described by CNN as a conquering Roman general, Caesar, walking into UFC with his squad, with his army at his back. Check this out. Here's the Donald Trump walk-in. The music is copyrighted, so we can't play you this clip in all of its glory, unfortunately, because the stream gets taken down. Here's Trump with Dana White, of course, Kid Rock, Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, Don Jr., RFK, Eric Trump, Dan Bongino. Whoa. And a really cool note here from this weekend. What you'll see here are the two leading candidates for Secret Service Director. You have Agent Mark Curran. I'll have to see if I can stop it. Right there. You see right between Dana White and Donald Trump? This agent is famous for being the guy in the sunglasses with Donald Trump's fight, fight, fight photo. This man is a finalist with Bongino to be the Secret Service Director. We heard that from very authoritative voice this weekend. Won't tell you who. And so a fascinating walk-in, ladies and gentlemen, and a very, very interesting turn of events. I mean, dude, if Dan Bongino gets tapped to be Secret Service Director, we've asked. We like Dan. We're friends with Dan. He's given us great professional advice, and I consider him a total ally of the program. A super good, decent human being. I can't get an answer. But we want him to be Secret Service Director. That'd be amazing. Bongino as Secret Service Director? Dude, you just can't. You can't get better than that. Okay, well, you can start. You could begin with like Donald Trump leading USA chants on ringside with 25,000 people at Madison Square Garden. Here we go.
Every single time I
The relevance of this is that you have Elon Musk and RFK there in a USA chant. RFK representing, look at there's Tulsi, Elon, and RFK. We traded them for Adam Kinzinger and Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney. It's the single greatest trade in the history of trades. There's nothing better. Babe Ruth, Tom Brady. There's never been a better swap or pick than this trade. The Kennedy family dynasty represented there, chanting USA, USA, USA with Donald Trump. Here's a squad pick. Ladies and gentlemen, just an epic night. A little hard to see, as we know, actually, with the UFC fights, because the lighting is always changing. You can see Tulsi, Don Jr., Dana White, Elon Musk, RFK. Vivek was there with his beautiful wife, Aiden Ross. What position will Aiden Ross get in the next administration? Everyone in this photo is like an administration official, and then Aiden Ross. Oh, yeah, okay, great. Donald Trump and Elon Musk having the time of their lives. You see Elon Musk cracking up at memes during the actual event live. Elon Musk and Donald Trump just having a ball. Just having a ball. Do we have the welcome for Joe Rogan? Donald Trump getting welcomed to Joe Rogan. Yeah, we'll grab it. Here we go. At the end of the night, you have John Jones, who wins in a knockout Right, Klein? It's in a knockout, all right? A knockout. Coming over and giving the true champion the gold belt. Yeah. True champ. Game, respect, game. Game, respect, game. So I put this up this weekend. Let's read through this tweet, Klein. I put this up this weekend, and I want to explain just really briefly what the panic that you're seeing, because we're going to get into left-wing meltdown panic here in just a moment. I want to explain to you why and how powerful this era that we're living through is, and what a true existential threat it is to leftism and to the columns of support that upheld the diseased church that is leftism. This moment right here is the single best photo of the new President Trump administration. There's so much that this photo shows. But I want to begin by just saying, first off, look at the positivity. Look at the upward beaming of optimism from everyone in the photo. Look at how happy. You've never seen RFK smile like that. Look how happy RFK is. Tulsi, everybody has this giant smile on their face. Eric Trump, you can see there. Everybody's beaming. There's a reflection of the feeling of optimism that Americans feel right now. And if you check in with the market, you checked in crypto, whatever, right? It's like nothing, like this pulsating optimism, onward, forward, looking to the future. It has champion energy. You show political unification here. Two Democrats in this photo that were Democrats just 4 years ago? Less? Tulsi Gabbard, RFK? RFK, the most powerful living descendant of the Kennedy dynasty, there smiling, standing beside Donald Trump. But here's what I'd really like to talk about: the cultural domination of this moment. You see, because it is the left who has decided that they are the ones in control of what is cool, what is hip, what is going to affect people on the borders of the social web, corporate entertainment, what they see. Everything from TikTok dances to catchphrases were all contrived and created by the left in order to have cultural power over us. And Donald Trump has shattered that matrix. Now Trump is culture. Now this is what power and domination looks like. And the avenues of upholding their whatever you could name it. You could name it like 50 sick agendas. Let's just begin with COVID, right? You could just start with COVID. All those despicable Hollywood celebrities in their multi-million-dollar mansions singing to us about how we need to lock our country up, right? Destroy Trump's first term economic boom by locking ourselves in our houses. Because that worked out. That worked out great, you know? This is a vector of control. So you take all these celebrities, you make them all sing Imagine by John Lennon, and from the gardens, from one of their many gardens inside their mansions. Then you string it all together, and you use that to cudgel Americans into doing what you want them to do. That's gone. It's been atomized. Not only is this photo more powerful, and let's show John James again, giving Trump the belt. Not only is this more powerful than 100,000 Lizzos, right? But this moment shows true cultural dominance that is authentic and not manufactured. That's real, and real respect real. Game respect game. People understand authenticity. That's why this show is booming. It's why streaming shows right now are absolutely mogging corporate media. Check this out. Go to my pinned post. Here you go. Toss this up. This was sent to us this morning by one of our partners in the streaming world. This is Stream Charts, who sent us this data. And we're going to get to Joe and Mika groveling and begging for Trump's forgiveness in the single most humiliating media move in American history. But you can see here, what did election night look like? And look at these numbers. Like tens of millions of hours of watch time inside of independent creator channels. We're deeply honored to be number 5 on this list of most watched independent creators. This is a total and complete devastation of the corporate media landscape. These are the kind of numbers that you get on corporate TV television. We're able to pull them down. And this isn't even including the granddaddy of them all, which is Joe Rogan. And look at how Trump greeted Joe Rogan. Because what you would normally do, the way that the old system worked, was an actor who was on Harvey Weinstein's, couch or in the Diddy list. You take that dumbass actor and you force them to say words, okay, that propagandize people, and then you push that out of your sewage pipelines in the corporate press, and you own all of these things. But now Donald Trump is the creator of culture, and the people who are actually truly in control of the audiences, like here, Joe Rogan, who has a bigger audience than anyone on the streaming charts combined, right? His interview with Trump did 100 million. Look at the way that Trump greets Joe Rogan. Look at the way that Trump and Rogan collab here. Oh, you got to go to the beginning of the clip. You got to get me the full clip. Trump's just too good. Come on, boys. We got to get the full clip. Donald Trump. Oh, Trump, like the happiest he was all night was Trump walking up to Rogan. It was incredible. This is the destruction of the media ecosystem at hand. And this is why Republicans are now the dominant force in culture. And Democrats don't know what the hell to do. Donald Trump just passed Taylor Swift for following on X. So Donald Trump has now more followers than Taylor Swift does on X. The time that we're living in is remarkable. You've never seen it before. You've never seen anything in your lifetime where the center right, which is what we represent, the freedom movement, is the dominant cultural force in the country. But they have nothing. They trotted out every celeb that was on an Epstein plane or a Diddy list to come endorse Kamala Harris, and none of it matters. In fact, many polls show that Taylor Swift's endorsement hurt Kamala Harris. Do you really want to be told by some billionaire rich lady, Oprah or Taylor Swift, who to vote for while you're waiting in a food line with your starving children, while you can't afford gas? Is this really like, you want to be told by Lizzo that your problems don't matter and you need to support her identity politics DEI candidate because of vibes and joy as you're waiting in a food line with your children? Look at Trump. Look at how happy he is. Look at this. Look at this. Trump to Joe Rogan. There we go. That's the angle. There you go. Look at how happy Trump was. Man, amazing. No, this is the existential threat. And it's a threat that's going to cause some just truly crazy things to happen. Starting this morning with Morning Joe saying that they flew down to King's Landing, which was the best way to describe what was going on at Mar-a-Lago. King's Landing, if you're a Game of Thrones fan. There's intrigue, there's backstabbing, there's the great houses warring with each other. Whoo, baby, it's intense. It's an intense environment at Mar-a-Lago right now. Donald Trump, the king of it, and a lot of people getting theirs. The energy was exciting. The energy, obviously, at UFC was exciting. It's all at our back. Ladies and gentlemen, here's something you might not have seen as you were seeing the viral clips ping-pong balling around the UFC this weekend is the ad that welcomed Donald Trump to the ring Here's how the UFC welcomed back the people's champion, Donald Trump.
We can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States. He will be going back to the White House. I will fight for you, for your family, and your future with every breath in my body.
We're never going to stop fighting for you, for your dreams, for the future of your children. We're going to lead the greatest comeback in American history under Donald Trump's leadership.
God spared my life for a reason, to restore America to greatness. Together we can truly make America great again.
Absolute chills. Absolute chills on that. Man, you want to talk about cultural power. You can't, like, it's a every campaign is just simply a story. Stories are told in images, photos, and moments that people remember. Do you remember anything about Kamala Harris? Do you even remember her name? Who the hell is she? She's not even real. Are you even real? She's the party of joy. Really? Tell me something that was joyful about that campaign. It just sounded like a bunch of, it sounds like a bunch of mewing and bitching and complaining and screeching and cringing. There's nothing joyful about it. There's nothing memorable about it. There's nothing iconic or culturally relevant about it. We're finding out now that it really is fake news that Oprah got paid $1 million by Kamala. It was $2.5 million. $2.5 million flowed from Kamala's coffers into Oprah's bank account. She's a billionaire. Multiple times over. I think her net worth is between $3 and $4 billion. And so it was so inauthentic. It was so inauthentic. Yeah, $3 billion, Oprah net worth. There's nothing joyful about it. There's nothing iconic about it. There was no great story told. It was the total and complete bankruptcy of people who have been run inauthentically by corporate machines down to the actual ashes, which is where Hollywood is now, where these systems are now. The machine broke this election cycle. We helped break it. It's been exciting. You know who also helped break it? Here's Kid Rock and Elon Musk swapping hats, okay? This is particularly important for our show because the hat that Kid Rock is wearing, first off, this looks like the greatest collab ever. I would listen to this album. Whatever it is, I would listen to this album. And there's Jelly Roll behind them photobombing. It doesn't get better than this. If you put that on an album cover, I'll buy it. I'll buy it and I'll listen to every single track. I don't care how good or bad they are. ALX designed that MAGA hat, the dark MAGA Gothic hat. ALX designed that hat. This is a moment of extreme cultural relevance for up-and-coming dynamic creators, for kids who have energy. This is an ascension point. And the left has no answer to it. They don't have successful podcasts. They don't have successful streamers. They don't have authentic celebrities. They don't have any actual joy. This is joyful. This is fun. This is what fun looks like. This is what making America fun again looks like. This is fun. You want to be at that party. Whatever that is, like, name one person who wouldn't want to be at that party. That's fun. That's what fun looks like. Make America fun again. They have no answer. They have no answer. So the only answer for libs now is to beg for forgiveness, which MSNBC did. Hopefully Donald Trump still has the salt on his fingers from the salty French fries. This is the final thing I'll because I know we've gone long on this, but the final thing I'll show you. Look at this. I mean, like, this is the photo that broke the internet. Don Jr., RFK, eating McDonald's with Trump and Elon. Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson is like the water boy on the championship football team that is like so excited that he got to be along for the ride. And he's like this nerd who runs the water and tests the H2O, the pH of the water, adds the electrolyte. But he gets to run on the field when they win the championship. Freaking Mike Johnson last night. It's such a dork. Such a dork. We love him. We love him. We want Mike Johnson. We want Mike Johnson on the program. Mike Johnson asked to be on the show this weekend. Mike Johnson came up to us and asked to be on the show this weekend. So I'm just breaking his balls because now I feel like we know him. It's like great. It's like great. Let's make sure we book that this week. Okay, so here it is, and look at RFK's face. If you can zoom, please. The RFK face here, man. The look on RFK's face is just picture perfect. RFK said he'd eat McDonald's again if they use beef tallow to fry the fries. Why do McDonald's fries have 90 different ingredients? Look at that. What is this? It's the creation of culture. It's hysterical. It's funny. This is what actual cultural creation looks like. The left has completely forgotten how to do this, how to be authentic, how to be real, how to connect with people, how to take themselves a little less seriously. Oh, this is just the greatest meme, finally. Okay, how to meme. The left can't meme. Here's Shinzo Abe, the raccoon and the squirrel, Peanut the squirrel, that were poor Mike Johnson. If anybody wants to add anyone to this photo, they always Photoshop Mike Johnson's head out of it. It's so funny. And Joe Rogan, Peanut the squirrel, Shinzo Abe, appearing like ghost Jedis, overseeing. You watch the roads. I'll watch the sky, Donald. Oh man, I love that meme. They've forgotten how to meme. They've forgotten what cultural relevance actually looks like. And while they were fat and happy and sloppy, thinking that the Obama era would never end, we built something that was a giant killer. And they have nowhere else to turn but to Donald Trump for cultural relevance. And that's what we saw today with Morning Joe groveling to President Trump. The reason why they're groveling to President Trump is, as CNN aptly puts it, Donald Trump is the new Caesar inside of the Colosseum. Here we go.
Well, believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it really looks like ancient Rome here. This is sort of the conquering Republican Caesar who's going into the Colosseum, and everyone's cheering, and he's got his political gladiators with him. That appearance isn't just about him enjoying the applause. He's sending a message to the Senate.
For sure.
Like,
yeah.
Not only are you entertained, but these are my people, and are you willing to fight? Because here's who I have.
And are any of us surprised by this? I feel like for anybody who has been covering Trump's campaign or his movement the past few years, these pics, sure, they're raising eyebrows, to say the least, but
A familiar character.
Yes, exactly. They've been with him at all these rallies. They've played a key role in where he's at now.
Yeah. Republican Caesar. Conquering hero. I love that. That's great. This is yes. The answer is yes. The photos are just immaculate from this weekend. There's too many to show. But what it is its culture, its total and complete cultural dominance, ladies and gentlemen. And the left used to own that territory. They used to lock, stock, and barrel be the arbiters of culture. Who could become famous? Who could have a media show? Who could have a dance go viral on TikTok? The left used to own it all. And we've built something so much better and so much more for the people. Look at these fighters. Look at these fighters screaming for Trump's approval. It is like ancient Rome. Look at these fighters. Which fighter is that?
It is Michael Chandler.
Michael Chandler.
On a great fight, lost, always loved Trump. Great patriot.
Great fight, lost, says Killer Klein. Killer Klein is a jiu-jitsu master and a massive UFC fan. We're going to be going to UFC here in Tampa when it's in Tampa in a couple of weeks. Look at these. Look at that. How do you defeat that? What's your answer to that? Lizzo twerking? That's your answer? That's your answer to this? Lizzo twerking as Joe Biden sniffs her? That's your answer? You don't have it. There is no answer to this. I could go on and on, but it's worth laying the shoulder in to say the people who fight against this, and there are some scary things that happened this weekend with Mitch McConnell, some little birdies saying that Mitch McConnell is already trying to sabotage Trump, something that we warned about. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see. Morning Joe, groveling to Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning, Morning Joe, who has had their ratings cut in half, we now have the hard data. More people watch this program than Morning Joe. The Nielsen ratings for Morning Joe last week were out, and we have a bigger program than Morning Joe here in our little studio with me and you, and we love you, and we say thank you. We now have you can see here in the stream charts, we have a bigger show. We can based on hard data, we have a bigger show than Morning Joe. Okay? We were invited to Mar-a-Lago on Friday, and apparently so was Morning Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, Morning Joe went on TV today to announce to their audience that they met with literally Hitler. Okay? Remember, there's a guy who they called a fascistic dictator. They called him a Russian agent. They called him garbage and his supporters garbage. They called him some of the most evil genocidal mass murderers in history. And now they're saying that they went to his home, got down on their knees, and begged for forgiveness from Hitler. Okay? Here's the clip.
Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike. We had not spoken to President Trump since March of 2020, other than a personal call Joe made to Trump on the morning after the attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? 5 years of political warfare has deeply divided Washington and the country. We have been as clear as we know how in expressing our deep concerns about President Trump's actions and words in the coarsening of public debate. But for nearly 80 million Americans, election denialism, public trials, and January 6th were not as important as the issues that moved them to send Donald Trump back to the White House with their vote. Joe and I realize it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him.
I don't know if we have a supercut of every time they called Trump Hitler, every time they said he was a fascist dictator. If we don't have it, we should make one. Such frauds. Such repulsive frauds. Reptilian, really. Cold-blooded. I'll show you why. I'll show you why they met with Trump. I'll give you this. Here you go. This is they're meeting with Trump because their business is collapsing. MSNBC is down 50% in the ratings. Their viewers are flocking to Fox News, according to the New York Times. According to Fox News Analytics, their viewers are moving over. They've lost 27% of their viewers to Fox News. They've lost 50% overall. Some shows on MSNBC have lost 60% of their viewers. Their business is in collapse, and people are saying that Comcast is saying they're going to sell them on the auction block. To like who? Al Jazeera? Like who are they going to sell them to? Who's going to buy this? Who would buy MSNBC? ISIS? I don't know. This is what they're doing. They're screaming for relevance. This is cultural relevance. This is what was able to be built because Trump didn't quit. Because Trump defied the machine telling him to not run again. And because all of us united together to say that, no, you're not allowed to create a machine that destroys democracy. They're actually the ones who are destroying democracy. And I tell you what, damn it, if these senators go on to block Trump's appointments, it'll be the same fate for them as MSNBC and Joe and Mika. We're going to destroy them. We're going to destroy them. There were rumblings about senators blocking Trump's appointments this past weekend. We're going to get to that in just a second. Don Jr. on TV explaining why the president is picking specific individuals for his cabinet right now, and what the process actually is. Wasn't it amazing, ALX? Seeing this process play out is incredible. Like we were just standing there at Mar-a-Lago watching people go in for their Trump interviews, and they all know us, so they all come up, they dap us up. Everyone from Brendan Carr, right, to Kash Patel, who is being rumored that Kash has been selected for FBI director. Don Jr. explaining, here's how the process works. Go.
Yeah, I think the reality this time is we actually know what we're doing. We actually know who the good guys and the bad guys are. We know who the guys are fake. And it's about surrounding my father with people who are both competent and loyal. They will deliver on his promises. They will deliver on his message. They are not people who think they know better as unelected bureaucrats. And so a big part of that process is just something that we didn't understand in 2016, where he came to Washington, D.C. He had no experience. He didn't know any of the 4,000 people that make up the Plum Book, which are the presidential appointees. So now we have a great understanding of that, and we can have a cabinet that is so powerful in delivering the America First message that the American people clearly voted for on November 5th.
So wonderful. We've connected and communicated with so many people in that cabinet. So many of them have been our strong allies and been guests on the show, are excited to reach out with you and for this audience in order to bring about some of the things that we want the very most, which is, well, I mean, what would you say when you go to bed, get on, pray at your bedside with your nightcap on, right? And your little candlestick, just like I do, okay? And I look like Ebenezer Scrooge, and I sit down there and I pray. And what I do pray for, and this is in every single prayer, is please, God, Lord Jesus Christ, give me the capacity to delete entire federal agencies. And what did we find out this weekend? Vivek is planning on deleting federal agencies wholesale. Did it? Control Alt Delete. Got it.
Are you expecting to close down entire agencies, like President Trump has talked about the Department of Education, for example? Are you going to be closing down departments?
We expect mass reductions. We expect certain agencies to be deleted outright. We expect mass reductions in force in areas of the federal government that are bloated. We expect massive cuts among federal contractors and others who are overbilling the federal government. So, yes, we expect all of the above. And I think people will be surprised by, how quickly we're able to move with some of those changes, given the legal backdrop the Supreme Court has given us.
Oh, yeah, baby. Prayer answered. We covered how RFK has been praying for decades to have an opportunity to make America's children healthy again, to save them from chronic illness. This is an answer to prayer for RFK. There's been a lot of answered prayers. That's why we call this a revival. It's a revolution. It's actually a revival. So it's spiritual in nature. Ladies and gentlemen, delete entire agencies. We have been praying for it. We saw it from the inside. We lived in D.C. for 15 years. That is absolutely what must happen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've noticed, there have been some very, very interesting financial headwinds now. President Trump is already booming an economy. He's not even president yet. We got to wait like 2 months for him to be sworn in. Ladies and gentlemen, Christmas time is right around the corner, and certainly the time for you to get out of debt, the crippling debt that so many amassed during the Biden administration. I remember my wife coming home, and she says, I'm going to give you motivation. She slaps the receipt for the grocery bill every single week on the corner of the counter in the house. The bill's $300, $400 to feed the kids. It's insane, ladies and gentlemen. Get out from under the debt that you have accumulated by going to my friends at American Financing. American Financing can help you now with the mortgage rates dropping. This is the time for homeowners to save right now, every single month. They can close in as little as 10 days, and you can start by delaying 2 mortgage payments. There are no upfront fees, and, well, you can save a lot, quite frankly. American Financing is an awesome company. Start today. Call American Financing right now. American Financing, 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219 for American Financing. AmericanFinancing.net/Benny. NMLS 182334 and MLSConsumerAccess.org. All right. I got to tell you, I was really, really infuriated when I saw this weekend. Here's the post that we've been sort of teasing out. I've been on the phone with senators all morning asking how this would be possible, and the reality is it is very possible. Apparently, last night, it leaked that Mitch McConnell was saying there's not going to be any recess appointments. What may well happen here in the Senate is you might not be able to get someone like Matt Gaetz up to the threshold. Now, that's a scandal in and of itself. All of these senators, as we have regularly said, have voted for Merrick Garland, Alejandro Mayorkas, Lisa Monaco, Susan Rice. So all these Republican senators voted for the Obama apparatchiks, for Joe Biden's Gestapo to come in and lock up Trump supporters, but they won't vote for Gaetz. Apparently, according to this the New Yorker reporter, correspondent for Washington, D.C., Jane Mayer, who I don't think is making up a quote here. I do not think that this is her making up. I don't think this is her like manufacturing a quote, okay? She's a lib, but, she does sourced reporting. Message to Team Trump. There will be no recess appointments, says Senator Mitch McConnell at a private Washington gathering. Then she deleted that post once it went viral. Very interesting. Senator Mike Lee saying, well, Mitch McConnell isn't leader of the Senate right now. So exactly how does Mitch McConnell assume that he's going to be able to declare something like that? I hope that our greatest fears are not realized here. We went to the mat for President Trump in 2024. We spent every ounce of energy that we possibly could to get this movement over the finish line. By God's grace and providence, we got it. And then we immediately began the battle against the senators who were going to nominate a Mitch McConnell lapdog, somebody who is a house, is a trained dog for McConnell. Come when called, play fetch, on a leash. McConnell hates Donald Trump. McConnell despises the MAGA movement and will do anything that he can to try and stop President Trump's appointments. We know this. This is of no surprise. This is why we were so hard to pry people away from voting for John Thune. We'll see. Listen, we'll see. Okay? Mike Johnson defending Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. I can tell you this is, based on what we heard at Mar-a-Lago, this is a spicy decision. Institutional Washington hates it. This is a massive endorsement. Jim Jordan endorsed on this program last Friday. James Comer endorsed over the weekend. And here's Speaker Johnson.
The reason that Matt Gaetz is such an exciting pick to so many people is because he will go in and reform the Department of Justice. It desperately needs it. Look, he and I sat on the Judiciary Committee together for almost 7 years before I became Speaker of the House. And we heard the evidence. We saw the evidence of lawfare. We saw how the Department of Justice had been used for political purposes, how they targeted Catholics in some examples and parents at school boards and pro-life Americans. This is not what our system of justice was built to do, and Matt Gaetz will go in there and shake it up. And I think most of the American people understand that's an important function.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, the walls are whispering. There are a number of senators who are telling us that this Matt Gaetz vote is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I just want to prepare you for this, and that there's going to be it's an uphill battle. And so be ready. Be ready for the fight. We didn't come this far to let you down. We didn't come this far to just get somebody as Attorney General who's going to betray Donald Trump or shy away and wither under the pressure like Jeff Sessions, who recused himself from Russiagate without ever seeing any evidence. No, now is the time for actual fighters. Now is the time for people who understand what time it is in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, joining the program live now is somebody who deeply understands what it is to fight for President Trump and really knows what time it is, as well, she is the president and CEO of the America First Policy Institute that has been writing and creating the policies that President Trump will enact on day one. She's also been creating the vectors and the behind-the-scenes momentum culturally that has pushed Trump to the very forefront of this moment where Joe and Mika are going to Mar-a-Lago to bend the knee and grovel. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us live now, the great Brooke Rollins. Brooke, how are you doing this morning? And congratulations on such a dynamic weekend at Mar-a-Lago. Too many viral moments to count, although we do have some of them loaded up.
Well, I'm just sorry that Benny Johnson wasn't there. Who missed that invitation? And that will not happen again. But listen, it was an epic celebration when we decided to, basically grab those dates 14 months ago. I knew it was either going to be the saddest party of all time or the most epic party of all time. But even I could not have imagined how epic it actually was. It was amazing. The euphoria of the win and of the effort to save the country sort of culminated this past week. So it was amazing. But we missed you, Benny.
I would say there are so many moments to choose from, but from the start, Donald Trump and Elon Musk on stage with an opera singer singing "God Bless America." We got it up right here. It is, everyone's seen the clip. Elon Musk, very musical here. And did you plan on this? Did this happen naturally?
It kind of all just happened. And it's funny. We were at Mar-a-Lago on the South Lawn in the president's backyard. This was the night before the gala. So you saw a lot of the viral moments with Sylvester Stallone and Javier Milei doing the YMCA dance. But this was the night before, and it was a beautiful night. The president obviously is extremely busy setting up his new government, getting ready to take the country back. But Christopher Macchio, the incredible opera singer from New York, is one of the president's very favorite. And we knew that it probably would draw him to the South Lawn. And he was so excited to be there, really wanted to address the crowd. And to your point, Benny, and what you said in the opening, listen, it's time to fight for America. Unlike any time we fought, except perhaps 1776, this is our moment, and we're meeting the moment. And I also say, I think we're living in the middle of a miracle. So I know a lot to unpack there, but it was awesome.
So yeah, I mean, in the middle of a miracle, in the middle of the champion's story, did Sylvester Stallone just come up to you and say, "Brooke, I want to call Donald Trump the next George Washington"? How does this come about?
Oh, well, to be first heard here, Benny, no one's asked me that yet in all the media I've done since then. So I'm going to give you the inside scoop on the Benny Johnson show. Well, first of all, I'm probably quite a bit older than you, Benny, but I will say that how iconic is Rocky Balboa, just the character. And Sly Stallone and his story of everyone turning him down, and him making that movie basically when no one said that it could be made, then the story, right, of coming from nothing and doesn't matter how hard you get hit, right, it's how you come back. And I just thought it was such an iconic sort of metaphor for Donald Trump. So when I heard that Sylvester Stallone may want to come and that he was a new resident of Florida and didn't live too far from Mar-a-Lago, called some mutual friends and made it happen. And then I thought, the president actually much prefers, and I worked for him for 3 years in the last White House, had been building America First policy the last 4 years, even in the dark days of January 2021 when he wasn't getting as many calls as he is now, been by his side. But I called the president and I said, normally he likes the voice of God, right? And the God bless the USA. He doesn't like big, long introductions. He doesn't want to stand in the back of the room and listen to someone, go on and on about how wonderful he is. But I called him and I said, okay, this may be a little out of the box, but if Mr. Stallone is willing to introduce you at the gala, what do you think about that? And I said, the Rocky Balboa, and the president, without hesitating, said, I love it. I love it. So then Sly shows up with his amazing wife, Jennifer, and we have an incredible talk. We got word that we would love for him to potentially get up on stage with us. But with, again, President Trump, you never know. You've got about 50 different scenarios that could play out in any kind of a program with him. And again, I've been at this a long time with him. And so as we were walking in and Sly and I were chatting, I said, now just confirming, that you're still good to jump up on stage. And we talked about, well, how long should it be and what potentially should he say? I said, just speak from the heart. I mean, this man literally has some kind of a special calling on his life. Talk about meeting in the middle of a miracle, which is right now on multiple fronts. And it'll be iconic. And I know, and I said, listen, I know that there's going to be pushback from your world. And he said, Brooke, I am here to save America. And I'm just so impressed. Now, did I think he was going to get up and compare President Trump or call him the second George Washington? No, that surprised me, but it was awesome. And I think so well deserved. And it was a really special moment.
So Sylvester Stallone had no reticence at all. No pushback. I mean, he has a couple of hit series right now. Tulsa King is one of the top streaming shows in the world. And he didn't hesitate at all to hop up on stage and call Donald Trump the next George Washington. He was like, I'm doing it. He
said, I am in. And he was I'd never met him before. He was so nice. And I think, I don't want to put words, my hypothetical is this. He has reached every pinnacle of success. And there are others like him. John Voight was in the audience too, by the way, and some other great culture leaders. But at some point, you just don't worry about the noise, right? At some point, you have a country that is literally sliding into communist oblivion. Yeah. And if you're not willing to stand up now, when are you ever going to stand up? And so I was so encouraged for a lot of reasons. First, because I think Rocky is probably my favorite movie of all time. I just love it. And it's so, growing up in small town Texas, we didn't have a lot, but we had Rocky Balboa. And so that was the first thing. The second thing is, I sincerely believe this to be true, that while Sylvester Stallone may be one of the few of the AAA list in Hollywood who's willing to stand up, I believe there are dozens, if not hundreds more, standing behind him, waiting for the permission to do so. And this is true in the Black community, the Hispanic community. I mean, all these key communities that are now coming together and finding those legends, those warriors, those lions who are willing to stand up no matter the consequence for America, just like our founders. That now begins the build of bringing those cultural leaders together and creating something that I believe is unstoppable. So I was so excited for a lot of reasons that he was there and willing to stand up.
So it's first off, I'm really glad that Rocky wasn't boxing Jake Paul this weekend.
Good. It's a solid point.
Yeah. So much better place, frankly, for Sylvester Stallone to be. This made, of course, an enormous amount of news. However, I would argue that it's not the most important news that you made at Mar-a-Lago this week. That the most important news that was made at Mar-a-Lago this week is this very short 7-second clip right here. This is profound. If you're talking about making something unstoppable, here it is. It comes from you and your emceeing at the mic. Let's go.
Is the George Soros of the right? Where do we find a billionaire who will never give up on the great promise of America? And in walks Elon Musk. So God bless you, Elon, and we're so grateful.
So you made a lot. I mean, listen, Rocky got some headlines, but I would argue this is the most important news. You calling Elon Musk the George Soros of the right and him smiling and smirking and raising his hand proudly. Yeah. I think people don't quite understand this. George Soros, he's a big-time boogeyman here on the right. He couldn't pay a single day of Elon Musk's tax bills.
No.
And so you're not even talking the same league here, right? When it comes to Elon Musk, and certainly Elon Musk builds things, whereas George Soros is parasitic in his business practices. So Elon Musk has a much brighter future. And so for you to frame it like that was really powerful, Brooks. Can you talk? Did you plan on saying that? Did you cover? Did you ask Elon's permission?
I did not. And it's funny because up on the stage, and I know you know this, Benny, the lights are so bright, you can't see anyone. So I didn't even know his reaction until I saw it later when it went viral, that not only did he smile or nod, he jumped out of his seat, raised his hand as high as it would go, and basically said, I'm all in. And you know, Benny, I think really well, I have for years tried to understand how the Democrats and the left outspend us 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 10-1. How is this possible? I mean, why on our side aren't our billionaires standing up? And instead of writing $50,000, $100,000 checks, we've got the entire free market, capitalistic, founding father, self-government system at stake. And yet there are a few people that will, right? We know the giants, but there are hundreds behind them that are conservative, that support the Republicans, that just won't lean in a way that Soros and Zuckerberg are leaning in. And part of that, I've said the movement should take some blame for. I think we have been not great at laying out the 50-year and 100-year vision. Our side tends to think of election to election to election. So as an investor, maybe you don't want to spend 10 million, 50 million, 100 million because you don't see the long-term ROI. And that was one of the things I was trying to solve for with America First Policy 4 years ago, was building that 100-year plan, giving these investors the vision where they could really lean in and go big. But I've been watching Elon. Now, I will note that last week at Mar-a-Lago was the first time we'd actually met and spent any time together. But he's a new citizen of my state. He moved to Texas and moved all of his stuff to Texas. He's building Tesla factories. He's building rocket ships. And I thought, and it was clear to me just watching him from a distance before he even leaned into President Trump, that he was a real patriot at his core, that he cared less about owning islands and having 17 jets. And not that there's anything wrong with any of that. And we have a lot of friends who have all of that, but that maybe he could too see that with the country at stake, with what he has been blessed with in terms of resources, that just a small fraction of those resources could be used to counter the left. And listen, we don't need to have the same amount of money they have to win. We proved that this election, right? But we have to be able to compete in a way that allows us to build that long-term plan, get the right people in office, and never give up. And I think that's the game changer that he is. So you were very astute, Benny Johnson, to actually have noticed that, recognized it, and realized it for what it was, which I believe is a moment where potentially everything changes for our movement.
Yes. Getting Elon Musk to understand the great cultural crisis that we are in, certainly saved Western civilization this election cycle. Right. Having individuals like yours and America First Policy Group reaching out and saying, here, like vision casting, in realistic ways to get this done and to save this great nation, like that is what did it. I mean, that's what actually activates. And it was remarkable to watch the pure accumulation of important, powerful people at Mar-a-Lago this weekend. However, only one of them danced the YMCA live and was a world leader from Argentina who decided to do the Trump dance. in front of hundreds of people filming him. This is Javier Milei, who graced your organization with a great speech and some great moves. This has now gone international.
Yes. It again. There were so many epic moments. That was definitely top 5. But what I loved most of all, first of all, President Milei is a game changer. And I think that what President Trump has inspired is that no matter if you're an economist or a professor or a businessman or a stay-at-home mom, that's what we're called to do, is to come together to save a country. I mean, this is our founding fathers' vision. George Washington was a businessman. James Madison was a student. Thomas Jefferson was a teacher. And yet in that moment, they had their miracle, right? And in that moment, they came together. Well, now we're on the world stage. And I think that President Milei and other key leaders around the country and the people are waking up and electing these leaders, that this is an arm-in-arm sort of effort. And while America is the linchpin, we are where self-governance and freedom has proven itself for 250 years, hopefully 250 more so going forward, but that we've got some amazing partners out there to help us do that and to spread the message of freedom literally around the world. And I think that's a lot of what that meant. President Milei is a really great man, and he's really funny. And I didn't know this either, but the joy, if I may, I'm like the joy of that night, that moment, the movement, all of it. I think our side has long been cast as kind of the glum, grumpy ones who don't like certain categories of people. And the left has defined us as that. And I believe what this election has proven is that that's not true. There is so much joy in fighting for your country and knowing that God is on your side and knowing that what you're working toward is scripturally based. And in so doing, you create a movement that others want to be a part of. Listen, my kids, I've got a bunch of kids. A handful of my kids were with me, teenagers, at Mar-a-Lago. They love President Trump. Elon Musk is super cool. Vivek Ramaswamy, they think is amazing. Javier Milei, they sort of know who he is. But when Antonio Brown is live tweeting right next to them, and my 14-year-old got to be on his live tweet, and I don't necessarily suggest she follow everything he says because a little bit's off color, but think about the cultural moment, right? For our youth, for our minority communities, for our athlete communities, it's incredible. It really is remarkable.
Anything that from behind the scenes that that didn't get caught on camera, that, I mean, because you were just like the center of the world, right?
You know what? There was so much. It was almost, it was almost so many incredible people in the room where everywhere you would look, oh, there's Bobby Kennedy. Oh, there's Michael Harris, the founder of Death Row Records. Oh, there's a bunch of MLB players, professional baseball players that want to save the country. Oh, there's Dania, who is an Olympic shooter, who is incredible and so beautiful. And that is one of the big efforts with what I have tried to build, is bringing in those iconic figures within each of those different communities. And I think our side has gotten a rap and justified that we've often, until the last few years, maybe the last 8 years with Trump, that we've been a very monolithic in our messaging, right? Oh, everyone should want lower taxes. And oh my goodness, we need to build the wall. But it's not true. Our policy is right for everyone, but who the messenger is and how we message it and how hard we work. I mean, we were working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 years leading up to last Tuesday. And the day after last Tuesday, or I guess almost 2 Tuesdays ago, we started mapping out the 36 governors' races in 2 years, how to keep the United States Senate. If we move our policy into every corner of our country, we can't be defeated. And so the moments were like that. I saw the mosaic of the full movement that night in that ballroom. I saw the Elon Musk, who is the next George Soros, much better looking, a lot more rich, and a lot more dedicated to the righteous cause of freedom. So that's huge. And then so many iconic figures like Antonio Brown that can help us get into the culture, which is how we ultimately, I think, get the country back.
Yes, that's exactly right. I don't think, I think it's totally understated what happened with Elon Musk and what's happening currently with Elon Musk as he's advising. He knows how to run a business, man. The American government's the biggest business in the world. There's no business that spends as much or is worth as much as the U.S. federal government. And so why wouldn't you want Look at this. This is Antonio Brown putting in. Trump's like, get your hair out of my hair. It's like the uniting of the two hairlines.
I was right there when that happened. And again, you can't make this up, right? I mean, there's Antonio Brown with the big papa on his fingers and the AB, and he's live tweeting everything. This is a great story, Benny. So I really wanted to invite some of the people like Antonio that may not normally get invited because he's in a different world than us. But he'd been, I think, such an important piece. So we invited him, had a beautiful letter, dear Mr. Brown, on behalf of Linda, Larry Kudlow, and myself, and the entire America First movement, we're celebrating. If you'd like to attend, here's the number of our incredible events person, Chase Forrester. Well, we should have been a little more intentional because he posted it on his Instagram story. And my poor events person literally had 1,000 phone calls in 26 minutes wanting, all of the people who follow Antonio said, well, we want to go to Mar-a-Lago. So Chase had to change her number. I think her phone literally melted down.
Oh, no.
But I love it. I mean, this is what we're building. It is happy and it is joyful and it is alive and it's going to save the country.
We're going to do a collection at church so that Vivek, who's on hard times right now, can get an extra button. We know that Vivek, we know that he's just one button away from getting his tuxedo shirt pinned up. And he
needs the help, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Maybe he could reach into the Doge coffers, Elon's partner there. We don't know, but he looks like he's hurting. And so, again, we just want to say thank you for letting us know this, that Vivek's on tough times.
Oh, that's amazing. Isn't it? But seriously, how great is Vivek Ramaswamy? Right. I called him. He was with us Tuesday night earlier, and he went home to Ohio. And then I kind of reached out to him again Wednesday night, Thursday morning. I said, Vivek, this is going to be epic. You have been such a massive part of the youth vote and bringing a fresh new articulation of our ideas to a whole new group of people. And I can't imagine tonight happening without you. And God bless him. He jumped on. Now it's helpful when you've got your own mode of transport, right? But he jumped on his plane and came down. And I think he's a game changer too. And he and Elon together, this is it. This is our once in maybe a 250-year opportunity to really, really take the country back.
Yes. And you know what? You're grabbing that opportunity. Your organization is vision casting, which is so important in these meetings and for people to to sink into what does that vision actually look like? Yeah. What is the future look like? You have to be able to do that. Brooke Rollins, your group is incredible. Where can people find your work? Where can people support what you're doing? We're going to toss up your X right now.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, A1, the number one, policy.com is our think tank, our policy organization. In the dust of January 6th and a taken election, had 9 former cabinet members jump on board, 50 former White House senior officials. The idea was to keep that team to prepare for the next America First White House. Then our C4, America First Works, led by the amazing Lee Zeldin, who's going into the administration. We're so excited. And Ashley Hayek, that's at America First Works, spelled out, americafirstworks.com. That's our political operation. That's what really worked on Black, Hispanic, Jewish voters in the swing states over the last few years. So we would love any and all. Listen, we're building an army that we believe will forever help to save America. And that businessman coming down that golden escalator 9+ years ago now changed everything forever. And now it's up to all of us to make sure we've got the infrastructure to keep the movement moving forward.
There it is, baby. AFPI, America First, always. Whew, do we ever agree with that? Thank you so much. Congratulations on such an epic run. And thank you. We say thank you personally for all the content that you provided for the internet. The memeable moments we deeply appreciate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and Benny, I'm going to make sure you're on that list next time. You got to be in the room with us.
Well, again, I'm going to count my buttons, okay, to see if I have enough. And then I'm going to see if I can get some giant bling, a giant papa to have on my.
Get some braids. We need some braids on top.
I don't think I'd look great in dreads. I can barely grow a beard. Thank you, Brooks. This was amazing, and you've done such remarkable work. We're saving the country together. Godspeed.
Amen. God bless you. Thank you.
Ooh, baby. We've got some very, very interesting news that is bubbling up. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see. People saying it's Kash Patel. We'll see. Kash Patel for FBI. Hey, Alex, we don't have a 100% confirmation on that, do we? Oh, man. Oh, baby. Not 100%. We've been hustling. Met with Kash this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of Kash, you should consider a little diversification, as we've talked about regularly on this program, that it's good to, listen, have a little bit in crypto, have a little bit in the stock market, have a little bit in equities. Buy gold. The reality is that before Trump's win, the number one asset performing year over year was gold. The reason why is because in times of trial, up and down, gold steady as a rock. It is literally a hard element, something that you should invest in. Our friends at Allegiance Gold can help you do that. Right now, you should invest. Just diversify into gold. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I do. Allegiance Gold has 5 stars with TrustLink, A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Allegiance Gold can help protect your IRA, 401k with physical gold and silver. Have it delivered securely to your doorstep like I do. Get up to $5,000 in free silver with a qualifying investment when you go to protectwithbenny.com today or call 844-66-BENNY. $5,000 free silver today. Protect with Benny. Performance may vary. Consult your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision. Okay, so bad investments. Joe Biden. Joe Biden was a very bad investment for whoever decided to prop him up there. It's got to be Barack Obama, right? And the Democrat machine. Joe Biden has effectively wandered off into the bushes. He did the meme, right? The Homer Simpson meme. Joe Biden decided to announce that he's going to start World War III and then just erased himself into the Amazon in a remarkable moment this weekend. So Joe Biden approves missiles, offensive missiles being fired directly into Russia. So Joe Biden's doing everything he can to start World War III right now. I am totally in favor of Donald Trump doing a peace. He should do a peace summit on Thanksgiving at Mar-a-Lago with Putin and with Zelensky. Trump should get in front of this. They're going to try and start a war, and they're going to try and trap Trump in a nuclear war before he even takes office and can deliver peace. They shouldn't allow him to do it. Joe Biden, in his total, fresh off the heels of his total humiliation, has decided to give a press conference and then wander into the jungle. I mean, it's a metaphor. It's beautiful. It's art, actually. Here we go. Where's he going? Hey, Alex, do we have a longer version of that clip? Do the feeds cut out right there? Where does he go? He just wanders off into the jungle. He certainly wasn't going to the front of the line in what's called a family photo, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Biden is ending whatever the hell it was. It certainly wasn't a presidency that we just lived through. Whatever Manchurian, humiliation ritual that America was just put through for being a Christian nation, whatever just happened, Joe Biden is ending it in total disgrace. You can see Joe Biden here shoved to the back and the corner of these photos. It's kind of like a team photo, right? Where you'd want the quarterback, the person who's in charge, to be front and center, the most famous celebrity or whatever to be up in the front. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden shoved into the back. Who takes the actual premier spot? Well, Xi Jinping of China, standing right in the front and center. Joe Biden ending as he started, in complete disgrace and humiliation. The world will not look kindly on history will not look kindly on this moment. People are seeing through what actually happened here. Where the hell Joe Biden's 20 million voters go? Where'd they go? So interesting, so unique, so fascinating. Where the hell did they go? Asking that question. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a question we don't have to ask is who makes the finest AR-15 in the great state of Florida? Our friends at Spikes Tactical with our Monday Gun Day. Yeah, baby. Donald Trump rocking and rolling with the news on the Second Amendment. Donald Trump, the greatest Second Amendment president in my lifetime or yours. President Trump announces a push for national concealed carry reciprocity. This is such a huge deal. This means that every state becomes a concealed carry state. This means that in every single state, you better watch where you're stepping, right? You better assume that if you were going to act the fool, that person's armed. And that good men and good women are armed. And as we've covered on this program time and time again, there's really only one way to stop a criminal with a gun, is to be a good guy with a gun. That's it. That's how it works. That's how it works in the movies. That's how it works in real life. That's how it works. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Over the weekend, President-elect Donald Trump announced a push for national concealed carry reciprocity, a move which would make a concealed carry permit for anybody valid in every single state in the other 49. On Sunday, Donald Trump Jr. posted on Instagram, boom, my father just announced concealed carry reciprocity. The Second Amendment will stay and remain protected. On September 18th, 2015, just months after Trump launched his first presidential campaign, Breitbart reported in policy papers where he said the right to self-defense doesn't stop at the end of your driveway. That's why I have a concealed carry permit. Tens of millions of Americans do. The permit should be valid in all 50 states. A driver's license works in every state. So should a common sense concealed carry permit. If we can do it for driving, it's not a privilege, it's a right. Make sure we can do it for everyone and everywhere. This would be great. President Trump has said yes multiple times if he's in favor of concealed carry reciprocity. This would be something that he could do, I believe, through executive order. I'd probably be gummed down on the course a little bit. Good luck at the Clarence Thomas Supreme Court. President Trump is again signaling that a national reciprocity for concealed carry will be an important goal of his administration. Oh, that would be so fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. We hope for this to be one of the first executive orders. We know that President Trump is walking to the chair with a stack of executive orders. Something I should have asked Brooke about. Shoot, we missed our chance. Ask Brooke. I should ask Brooke about that. With a stack of executive orders. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an awesome moment. I cannot wait. Day one's going to be very, very exciting. Day one's going to be very exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, be armed and ready, as they say. Lock and load. We're taking our country back. Get in, losers, right? That's what you say to libs. Get in, losers. We're taking our country back. And you're going to like it. Cheap gas and groceries. You can cry all the way to your cheap groceries, gas, and affordable homes. You're welcome. You're welcome. This has been Monday Gun Day. Every day is Gun Day in the Johnson household with our Spikes Tactical AR-15s protecting our castle here in Florida with our concealed carry and with our rights to bear arms secured in this great state. Monday Gun Day. Ladies and gentlemen, we are rocking and rolling. We have some exciting things planned. This week, we will be going to the Trump Tower in Chicago for something that Eric Trump invited us to. It's something that you never hear about. It's the enormous amount of charity work that the Trumps do. It's the St. Jude's big charity fundraiser that the family does there in Chicago. And this has now become a Johnson family tradition. We contribute to St. Jude's. I mean, this is the sick children who have cancer and need treatment. The Trump family has for decades been benefactors to that organization. It's driven by Eric Trump and Laura Trump, who will be joining the show this week to talk about a potential Senate run. Yeah, that's going to be really fun. But anyway, we're going to bring you more updates from there, and it's going to be exciting. We just say thank you for supporting us, being along for the ride, and being somebody who, is locked in to save the country, which is what we're doing on this program. It's been really, really fun, and we're just getting started. So buckle up. Our verse of the day, ladies and gentlemen: He will guard the feet of his faithful ones, but the wicked shall be cut off in darkness. For not by might Shall a man prevail? Ladies and gentlemen, it does certainly feel like President Trump was guarded. It feels like our movement was guarded. It feels like our nation was protected. God does care about these things. He cares about the leaders of nations. He cares about the fate of nations. And so this is why we end our show every single day with a Bible verse to center us and remind us, like, who's really in charge. So many people were so nervous. People were having meltdowns and panic attacks. Cool as a cucumber. You gotta be. This is faith in action. God is in control. He asks for us to trust him, and we do through this time as well. Thank you for joining us in this March. It's going to be an exciting exciting couple of weeks, getting us through to the inauguration. New updates by the day. Please make sure that you are subscribed and make sure that you march on to victory with us. Stand upright. You can't defeat a happy warrior. The armies of happy warriors, ladies and gentlemen, are growing and growing quickly. The armies of darkness are fleeing. It's your boy Benny. See ya.
Sir, the resistance cruiser is preparing to jump to light speed.
Hey, media matters for America. Go f*** yourself.
It's so good.
Hey, Trash. Cruising for street meat again? You're just jealous because I am the moment and you are a bitch.
Would you please stop calling me that?
Sure, dude. It is ma'am.
Oh, honey, if you don't find that dipstick to check my oil, I'm going to lose my nut and bolt.
Ooh, yeah, you like that?
Betray your customers, you must.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
truth gon' be faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to the debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.